Electronic logging devices. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about ELDs, or electronic logging devices. Now, if you don't know, I'm sure everybody pretty much knows what an ELD is. If you don't, if you just watch the channel and you're not a trucker, it's a logbook basically. Years ago we had paper logs, and that's how we kept track of our driving hours, our on-duty hours, on-duty not driving hours, all that hours that we can work in a week. We're limited on how many we can drive a day, how many hours we can work a day, how many hours we can work a week. And we kept track of it on paper logbooks. I don't have one with me to show you what it looks like, but there's one in here somewhere because you have to have it on the truck in case the ELD goes down. Anyway, now we're mandated to use electronic logging devices. And they basically do the same thing. They electronically keep track of and record your driving hours, your on-duty not driving hours, your pre-trip hours, and they can do, I'm pretty sure most of them can do other things too, like the driver vehicle inspection report I can do on the ELD that I have here, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Now, our company still has us do the VIR, and if I'm not mistaken, and I'm pretty sure I'm not, the DOT doesn't require you to fill out a driver vehicle inspection report anymore, unless you have a write-up. If you have a discrepancy, you have something that you need to put out of service, that's when you're supposed to do it. Our company still has us do them. I think it's a waste of time, and when it was on paper, it was a waste of paper. But that's what they want to do. I guess they just want to keep track of everyday good VIRs. I don't know. Anyway, when they mandated ELDs, a lot of drivers had a lot of problems with it. There were protests and marches and testimonies about how the ELD makes you drive when you're tired and makes you rest when you're not. And they wanted to get rid of the ELD. Well, the government, once they mandate something, more than likely are not going to go back to what they had before or change it again. I mean, they may make little changes here and there, and they have. They've clarified personal conveyance, all that kind of stuff. Yard moves, they've narrowed all that stuff down. But if you think about it, the paper logbooks, you can manipulate them. That's a word I'll use this time. The ELD, you can't really. It's going to tell you what you got to do. It's going to keep you within the hours of service regulations. Now, to you guys that really hate the ELDs and complain that it doesn't give you enough flexibility like the paper logbooks did, all you're really saying is it won't let you cheat anymore on your logs. I said it. You can't cheat on the logs. That's what we did. Some people had 2 logbooks, 3, I guess. I don't know. But for me, running LTL, run the same route every day, I like the ELD for its convenience. The one we got right now, again, which I'm going to talk about in the morning, is not that user-friendly, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I think most of them are. It's simpler. It does it for you. It turns them in for you. So that's my opinion. Now, you guys who still complain about the ELDs, your complaint is not really with the ELD. Your complaint is with the hours of service regulations, because the hours of service regulations haven't really changed to where it makes a difference on when you run and when you can't run. They've made little changes here and there. Still can only run a certain amount of hours a day. Still can only run a certain amount of hours a week. So it didn't really change any of that. It just made it where you couldn't cheat. You didn't have that flexibility to where you could manipulate those logs and get more miles run. So your complaint, I think, is with hours of service regulations. So I would concentrate, if I was you, over the road guys, especially and owner operators, are the guys who complain the most. Lobby on getting the hours of service rules changed. That's what you need to do. I'll be right there with you. All those things that we can do more of, and just the safe, I think. Anyway, on to what the ELDs that we have. This older ELD that we have right here, this is the one that we've had for several years. It's a Venomics. Now, I don't think anybody's hardly ever heard of it. When I had my level 1 inspection the other day, the trooper that did my inspection had never heard of it. Now, the ones we're getting ready to go to in a week or so, the Samsara, it's a handheld. He's heard of that one. So I'm sure there's more companies and individuals using the Samsara. It's actually a handheld unit. Now, the thing about this old one is it's like a dinosaur. It's slow. Sometimes when you first log in, it won't let you. So you got to move the truck, which they don't want you to move the truck unless you're logged in. So you got to move the truck, and then when it comes up, unassigned driving event, you got to accept that. So it's kind of a pain. So you hit something, it won't highlight, even though the computer inside actually took it. You try to hit it again, and you're actually touching what the next screen is. So you'll pull up a trailer that has nothing to do with what you're trying to do. So you got to go back, get out of that, and start over. So you got to just go slow and make sure that it took it. Sometimes it highlights, sometimes it doesn't, even though it took it. Anyway, so this one's going away. This Samsara Handheld is the one we're going to, I believe, next week. Now, one difference is the old one, you had to have a set of instructions, paper instructions, to tell you how to use it. You had to be able to show that to your inspecting officer if he asked to see it. You have to have it on the truck. The new one, and this may be true on other systems too, I'm sure, all the instructions are in the device. You can pull them up on the device, and they have to accept that. You don't have to have the paper copy. You still have to have a paper logbook that you can use in case your ELD goes down. So you keep track of it on there, get your ELD back up, edit your logs, get them on the ELD, and you're good to go. I've had this one go down, so I kept the logbook during the day, but by the time I got in, it had caught up, took everything that was there, not a problem. I've had it where I've had to have the line haul director edit them for me and then turn them in. Anyway, so the good thing about this one is it's really easy to use. We've had these available in our trucks for a couple of weeks, and they're not live. They're not recording. You can't send your logs to the trooper. The company's not keeping them because that would be illegal. You having 2 logging devices in the truck at the same time. So the ELD of record is the Venomics right now, and I believe unless they put it off again, Samsara will be next week. Now they've put it off because they've had some bugs they've had to work out. We've been using them together so we can get the same results out of the new one as we're getting on the Venomics, so we can get used to how this works, how to navigate the system. And it's, for me, line haul, I like it a lot. It's a lot easier, works real smooth, touch something, it happens. Now, the city guys have had some complaints about the routing it uses, the GPS that it uses not being accurate, but that's why they wanted us to use them for a couple weeks before we went live, so they could work these bugs out. They've made updates. They told us they made updates on all these complaints that have happened, and hopefully they're ready to go next week to where everybody can use it for what they need it for. City guys have to use it for logging and for recording stops. They take pictures of their trailers. They take pictures of the bill of ladings. They turn all their stuff in through their handheld, so it's billed before they even get back to the yard. All that kind of stuff that they need it for. So my question to you is, Do you like the ELD? Would you rather have paper? LTL guys, mostly the ones that are watching this channel, I'm guessing, probably like the ELD. Now, I don't know what. Tell me what kind of system you have. Is it Qualcomm, which is the oldest device I think that's in the trucks? Messaging devices. You can get messages on these. We've never got messages on the Venomics. So you can get messages from dispatch on it. All this kind of thing. There's all sorts of new things. You can tell, you can look on the device, see where your meat man is, and find out what time he's due to arrive, which is good because if he gets broke down, you can find out how long it is, all sorts of things. So, what kind of device do you have? Do you like it? Do you not? Let me know in the comments. And while you're down under here, check out all the links in my description. Like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Set the alarm bell to all so you'll get notified of all the videos that come out. And we'll see you later.